right, it's race day and I'm so excited. Okay, excited probably isn't the word. I'm just ready for this to be over with. I cannot believe I signed up for a race in January, but here we go. I'm hoping that I made some smart decisions in terms of what I'm wearing. I decided not to wear the thermals underneath my running tights. I just said, I just don't want, I want my legs to feel natural. I want them to feel good. And so I'm like, if my legs gotta be cold to feel good, then so be it. So I'm hoping that that wasn't a bad decision, but I decided not to wear those. I am pretty layered up on top though. I have on this like a little over shirt, and then I have a long sleeve shirt underneath that. Then I have a undershirt underneath that, and then I have like a sports bra type shirt underneath that, and then I have my sports bra. I'm pretty layered up on top, and I know that as I start running, I'm gonna start peeling out of some of that stuff. Matter of fact, just sitting here in the hotel room, I'm getting kind of hot, and so I'm trying to decide, okay, do I want to peel out of something now or wait and see what the weather is like when I hit the door? But it's about 6:15. I'm about to head out now. They gave us MARTA passes. How neat is that? They gave us MARTA passes. It's a two-way pass. My hotel is right near the MARTA station, so I'm going to walk down to the MARTA station and take the train to the race, the start line of the race, and then it is a point to point, which means that it starts in one location and ends in another location. And so the point to point starts, at Piedmont Park, and then we run up to the Lenox area, which is where my hotel is. And so the finish line will be right here near my hotel. Once I cross the finish line, then I can just simply walk back to my hotel room. As far as nutrition, I am going to go with the protein shake, and then I also have, I bought some bananas from Walmart yesterday, so I'll have the protein shake and a banana. I'm gonna try to down this right now between here and getting over to the MARTA station. I used to eat a bowl of oatmeal and a banana an hour and a half before my races, and I found that that worked perfectly for me in the past. I started doing that during marathon training, and I had some real serious digestive issues right around mile 5 to mile 6. And usually by mile 7, I was having to stop and take care of that. And so this time around, I don't know, maybe if something's changed with my, digestive health, but I think maybe it's the fiber. And then all of the running that I'm doing, it's called runner's trot. Like it is an actual thing. I know that now. It is an actual thing. But I think it was the fiber in the oatmeal. So I don't know why it used to work in the past, but I decided that I'm going to give up that routine. I'm going to try to down the protein shake as well as the banana, and then hopefully that will hold me over until the race. The race starts at 8:15, and I should be done in about an hour. So I'm heading out now. Wish me luck. All right, so the race is done. I just finished getting dressed. Thought I'd give you a quick recap before I checked out of the hotel. I did leave here probably about 6:15-ish, 6:20-ish, something like that. I did end up locking myself out of my hotel room. So before I left for the MARTA station, I ended up downstairs at the hotel desk trying to get a new room key. The MARTA station is less than a quarter of a mile from my hotel, so I just simply walked up to the street and made a left, and I was right there at the MARTA station. The wristbands that they gave us that had the passes on them from MARTA, mine didn't work. Some people's did work, but mine didn't work. The attendant let us through the gate because we did have the wristband, so they let us get through the gate. When I got down to the platform, I did meet a group of 2 couples, and they raced together, and they were kind of talking about the different races and things that they've done. And one guy had done more than 500 half marathons, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. And he had also done 50 stakes once, and he had 3 more stakes to go before he finished it for a second time. I'm like, do you know how much dedication and effort and planning it takes to do 50 stakes
not once, but twice. I'm working on once, but he's done it almost twice now. So I thought that that was really inspiring. So we waited on the platform probably about 20 minutes or so for the train to come, just chit-chatting. Got on the train. The train ride was probably about 15 minutes to the stop that we were getting off of. We got on the Buckhead station and we got off at Midtown. So once we got off at Midtown, there were some people that were already there, but they were still on the platform because of course it's cold outside, right? So they were trying to stay warm, so they were still down on the platform. And I'm like, okay, that's smart. And so I decided to stay down there as well. So we just kind of hung out down on the platform, just trying to keep warm. And I think that we were probably down there for at least 40 to 45 minutes or so. I remember it being 7:40 when I finally decided to go up out of the MARTA station. And so we were down there for about 40 to 45 minutes. I was in wave A, which is the first wave, and the race started at 8:15. And so I was like, okay, 7:40 is probably a good time. We had to walk from the MARTA station to the start line. That was probably about 20 minutes. I did not expect it to be that long, but it was okay because, I mean, you're walking, it's really cold, so you just want to walk and keep moving and keep your blood circulating anyway. So the walk was great. I just didn't expect it to be that long from the MARTA station down to Piedmont Park. So when I got to Piedmont Park, a gentleman pointed me in the direction of the gear check, and they had like 5 school buses lined up and they were organized by your wave. So I was in wave A and I had to walk all the way down to the end to the very first bus because I was in wave A. So I walked down there and I just really dreaded having to peel out of my overcoat and my scarf. I actually, for about a good 30 seconds, debated whether or not I was going to actually run in my scarf. That's how cold it was. I was like, I don't see me parting with this scarf around my neck and my face. But in the end, I ended up checking it. I checked that and my overcoat, and it was freezing out there. Like by that point, and I had on gloves, but by that point, my fingertips were numb. Like, you know how your fingers get so cold that they're numb and they start to hurt? Now, we hadn't even started running yet. And so my fingers are already numb. So I'm just completely miserable because I don't like cold weather. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't feel my fingertips right now. What was I thinking? But by this time, it's like 8:05-ish. And so the race was going to start in about 10 minutes. And so I didn't really have time to do anything really other than to go down to the corral, because again, I was in corral A, so we started first, so I kind of had to be there on time. All right, so I just dropped off my bag and I'm headed to the start line. It is chilly out in here. My fingers are already numb. This was such a bad idea. But we're gonna go do this. So I went down, got into corral A, and by the time I got there, they were starting up the ceremony. So the CEO of Atlanta Track Club spoke. We had someone sing the national anthem. Then they had some more general speaking, giving you directions.
Saturday in January. One quick reminder before we get started. In 1970, when we started, we ran on open roads. And while we will not have completely,
you know, northbound lanes only, and just giving you some general directions, because this race is a little different from the traditional Peachtree race where everything's blocked off for the entire route. For this particular race, only the northbound lanes were blocked off, so there was still traffic in the southbound lanes. So they're giving us directions, getting us ready. Fingers are frozen. Let's just run. Finally, the gun goes off, and I'm just like, thank you, Lord, because I'm just ready to get this blood flowing at this point. And I knew that I would warm up once I started running. The race actually starts uphill. So where the start line was, you go up a hill. And so that was a little tough. It's cold, the wind is blowing, hitting you in the face. I'm breathing like this because it's so cold and I'm going up a hill. So I was really worried that I wasn't gonna do well in terms of time. At that point, you know what though? At the start of the race, I was just kind of like, I just want to finish and get out of the cold. Like whatever my time, I just get me out of the cold. When I got to the start line, I realized my phone battery was on 20%, which meant that I could not run my Runkeeper or my Peloton app or my Amazon Music. So I ended up running this race with no watch, which meant I didn't know what my pace was and I didn't have any music. So it was just me listening to myself breathe for 6.2 miles. I did warm up, I would say probably about the 3.5 mile mark. Before that, even my toes felt numb, and it was about the 3.5 mark where I could kind of feel them again. I was wiggling around my fingers and I was wiggling around my toes, and before the 3.5 mile mark, my toes felt like if I pounded on them too much, they were gonna break. And about the 3.5 mile mark, it kind of thawed out and I was fine. So anyway, it was a very uneventful 6.2 miles. It was cold. It was a lot of hills because it's Atlanta. And it was just me and thinking about when is this race going to be over for 6.2 miles. Got to the finish line. They gave us our medals, which was, again, I just think this was a very neat addition to Peachtree, for them to actually give you the medal at the finish line.
We're done. We're done. Thank goodness.
And so that was great. And then they had the line for the food. So, they had bananas, they had water, they had some sort of other drink that I picked up that I'll try. They gave you your sweatshirts or your hoodies. It's actually a hoodie. I ordered a medium, and when I saw that, I was like, whoa, I am not going to be able to wear that. It was so big. So they ended up letting us exchange them. There was an exchange line and I got an extra small. And even the extra small looked like it was a little too big, but that was the smallest size that they had. So I'm going to roll with the extra small. Got to the buses where they did the gear check and picked up my gear. And then I headed back to the hotel. I was not sticking around for the festivities, people sticking around, taking pictures, talking. It was too cold for all that. And now I'm sweaty because I've stopped running. And so got back to the hotel, got dressed, and I am about to check out of the hotel now. I'm going to try to get me a nice meal while I'm here in Atlanta, and then I will head to get some gas in the rental and then head to the airport. All in all, I would say that I'm really glad that I ran the Polar Opposite Peachtree. It was the inaugural event, and it was just really great to be here in Atlanta again. I got my running start in Atlanta. A lot of the ladies that I saw at the race, I ran with them as part of Black Girls Run, and it was just really nice to see some familiar faces. And I just really, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the experience. Even though I was miserable because it was cold, the experience in and of itself was great. Atlanta Track Club always puts on a great event. They're always very well organized. The volunteers are awesome. Of course, this is so cold outside that there weren't a lot of spectators, but there were some that were out there cheering us on, so that felt good as well. But just all in all, it was a really great race. I hope and pray that they continue this event. I hope it was worth, whatever it was, whatever goal that they were trying to accomplish, and that they continue this event in the future, because it was an awesome race. That's my recap of the Polar Opposite Peachtree, sponsored by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I am planning to run the Peachtree in July as well. I did do the bundle pack for that. So hopefully I will be back in July to run that, and I will just simply be running that same course in reverse. So looking forward to that. If you enjoyed this recap, take a moment, hit the thumbs up for me, hit the subscribe button if you're not a member of our community. We'd love to have you here. Take care. See you in the next video.